People will think they're taking a prescription drug that's out of a pill bottle from a pharmacy, but it's not, and it's fentanyl, and it kills them, you know.
Fentanyl causing accidental deaths across the state. We've been covering this epidemic for several years.
And tonight we're investigating the problem as it explodes to levels we've never seen before, but a possible solution to curb accidental overdose deaths.
That's happening in my life for my friends, and I don't want it to happen to other people.
Brianna Burkett of Oklahoma City now has a growing shrine in her living room.
My friends are dying. They're beautiful, smart people.
Honoring her friends' loss to addiction and accidental fentanyl overdoses.
Somebody goes and tries to find Adderall, which helps them get through work or get through studying or party all night, but those things have fentanyl in them a lot right now. Russian roulette.
Playing it with your life.
Absolutely, but they're not trying to go die.
One friend, Sefton, passing away in January, leaving behind a growing family.
And she's pregnant.
And she's pregnant. She will be having a baby May 3rd is her due date.
And he'll never get to meet the...
Augustina is her name. He actually named her. He was a great friend, and we loved him so much.
Brianna says now that she is sober from alcohol, this is her purpose.
At this point, I can't just sit around and let the next one die.
Now becoming an advocate for at-home fentanyl testing strips.
Drug testing kits. If I can't stop people from doing drugs, I think they should be able to trust what they are taking to know what it is. I already know of a few people that are testing theirs.
And are they finding anything in their drugs?
I had a friend that had a kid come to them with Adderall, and the Adderall had fentanyl.
Adam Octor started the testing kit company called Bunk Police.
One line if there is fentanyl present, or two lines if there is no fentanyl present.
Are your customers dealers? Are they users? Are they both?
The vast majority, users. Of course, we do have dealers that come to our site and purchase our products, and we encourage them to do so.
Have you heard that your test kits have saved any lives?
Over the years, hundreds.
Do you think that you are making it easier for people to consume drugs?
Easier? That's definitely not the point. It's easier for them to be safe.
While the tests aren't regulated, Octor touts the research that went into their creation. We went to the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics to talk about these testing kits.
We would be cautiously optimistic of anything that might help lower overdoses, but at the same time, I think you just have to be very, very careful in how these are used. We would be open to at least listening to conversations about that.
Mark Woodward with OBN illustrates just how bad the crisis has gotten.
Between 2019 and 2020, Oklahoma saw a 151% increase in fentanyl-related overdoses.
Have you ever seen a spike like that in any type of drug?
I haven't seen a spike like this that quickly.
Woodward says oftentimes dealers have no idea that it's actually fentanyl that they're selling.
They're not going to know, nor do they care. They're buying it from a guy who got it from another source, who got it from another source, who had it probably brought in from Southeast Asia. Some of these can be exactly the same strength as morphine or heroin, and then some can be 100 to 1,000 times stronger.
Is fentanyl cheaper for these drug dealers to
That's it. That is the bottom line right now. They can take, for example, 1 kilo of heroin, a drug trafficking organization, backfill it with fentanyl, and now that 1 kilo becomes 10 kilos, but it's 90% fentanyl. The profit margin's through the roof.
It's cheaper, it's highly addictive, and it's here.
7,100 pills had just arrived at an apartment complex in Oklahoma City. And this guy who ultimately supplied drugs that led to at least 2, maybe even more deaths, was just about to put 7,100 more pills back out on the streets of Oklahoma City. We just got over 9 kilos of fentanyl 2 weeks ago. That's potentially about 90,000 of those counterfeit pills.
What does the agency think about having these test strips? Could this be a solution to the accidental fentanyl overdose epidemic that we're now seeing?
The biggest key in this whole thing is education. Getting people to, first of all, to never even get on this path. I think we need to do more on the front end of that, but also going after those who are supplying this stuff on the streets to aggressively go after them.
Do you think if Sefton, for example, had tested what he was taking, he wouldn't have taken it?
Right, yeah.
If he was still here today, what do you think he would say?
I think he'd be really sorry. I know he didn't mean to.
Now, there are some concerns nationwide about these at-home testing kits, about their legality and if they could be considered paraphernalia. OBN tells me Oklahoma is researching where this would fall right now under Oklahoma statutes.